Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Catherine with A Perfect Place to Start, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 4 DIY gingerbread decor ideas. So let's get started. So for project number 1, we're going to take this wood cutout gingerbread house from the Dollar Tree and some other various supplies that were from the Dollar Tree, and then some ornaments that came from Hobby Lobby. And we're just going to use the Waverly antique wax, and I'm going to cover the entire house with the antique wax except for the snow on the top. And I'm just going to paint it all on and then use a paper towel to brush it off. Now I'm going to take my hazelnut paint from Waverly and I'm just going to go around the windows, the doors, and the outside of the gingerbread house so that I get 2 contrasting brown colors that look like cookies. Now I'm taking my Fern Waverly chalk paint and I'm just going to paint in the trees that were already cut, like wood burned into this cutout. And now I'm ready for the embellishments. So these are actually little gumdrops that were like on a garland that I picked up for a tiny tree over at Hobby Lobby, and I just cut them off of the garland and then took them off of the string, and I'm just gluing them onto the parts of this gingerbread house where there was wood burned ornament cutouts. These end up being the perfect size. I glue like the bottom part of the gumdrop up towards the top of the roof line and then the point down so it looks like a bulb is hanging down.
Come join us all, the feeling is here today. Come on now, let's go. Caroling through the snow all day. We've been good, but we can last. Hurry Christmas, hurry now. I can't wait to see.
There are ornaments that go at the top of the roof line as well where the snow part is, and I'm just going to keep gluing these gumdrops up to the top as well. So we're ready for our snow, and I'm using caulking that came from the Dollar Tree and my husband's caulk gun, and I'm just going with a generous amount around the rooftop, and I just go right over the roof hanger, the hanger for the gingerbread house, and then I go at the bottom of the window seals because there is some wood burned like snow area there, and then I decide to go on the bottom of the cutout as well, on either side of the door, and I think it looks so cute. It looks totally like frosting. So next I'm going to take some greenery that came from the Dollar Tree, and it's just one of those green garlands. I'm giving it a haircut. I think I cut off a little bit too much, but I'm trying to make some little wreaths to go to hang on the windows and the door. So let me tell you, giving these little greenery things a haircut is very messy. So once I was cutting it, it was sticking to my scissors, it was sticking to my hands and my pants, and so just make sure you have a trash can handy so you can sweep that into the trash can when you're done cutting it off. So I'm ready to attach the wreath, and on the door there is like a raised cutout wreath already on there. I'm just going to glue this little tiny wreath right onto the wreath that is on the door, and then I'm going to attach 3 more wreaths to the windows. Just to give my wreath a little bit of added touch, I'm going to take some berries that I also got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to attach a few berries to each one of the wreaths. place the berries at the top of the first wreath, and then I decide I actually like the berries better at the bottom of the wreath, and so I go ahead and move the first berries I attached on there down to the bottom, and then I just glue the berries onto the bottom of each of the wreaths. So we're almost done with our gingerbread house. Just for a final touch at the very end, I take some really fine glitter that I just had in my stash and I sprinkle it over the snow. Here's the final look of our gingerbread house, and I absolutely love the caulking as the icing. It totally looks like icing, and I think this thing turned out adorable. Project number 2 has to be the easiest project ever. All we're going to do is take a picture frame from the Dollar Tree and some greeting cards that came from Dollar General, and we're going to make this really cute gingerbread picture frame. So it's a 5x7 frame. I just painted it with a few coats of my Waverly White chalk paint. I'm using the envelope and the card, and all I'm going to do is hot glue my card to the envelope in the corners so it doesn't move around when I put it into the picture frame. So this project would make a really cute gift if you put it together with some gingerbread man cookies or gingerbread cake. I think anyone who received this would love it. I do go ahead and put a dab of hot glue on the inside of the card just so that it's not doesn't look like it's opening in the frame. Sometimes it can do that, and so I just want to make sure it's glued down well. That is it. I did go ahead and add a gingerbread ornament down at the bottom of the frame just to give it a little added oomph, but it turned out so adorable and it's so simple. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Catherine with A Perfect Place to Start. I love to do trash to treasure, seasonal decor, and Dollar Tree DIY. So if that sounds like something you would like, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I also have an Instagram account. I would love it if you followed me over there. I post my DIYs, and in my stories, sometimes I post things I'm doing just around my house and in my everyday life. So I would love it if you join me there too. So for project number 3, we're going to be making a mini gingerbread house, and we're going to be using one of those boxes from the Dollar Tree along with our caulking and our white paint. And we're going to remove the lid from the box, and then we're going to be using that lid as the stand-up picture that we are creating. So we're going to take our white Waverly chalk paint and we're going to cover the entire lid with the white paint, and then we're going to go back over with our hazelnut paint and we're going to paint the gingerbread house with the hazelnut paint. So using our caulking from the Dollar Tree, again, we're just going to go over the top of the house where it's kind of scalloped to make the icing for our gingerbread house, and then we're going to put some of the caulking above the roof to give it kind of icing for the smoke out of the chimney. And then I decided to go ahead and do some icing down at the bottom around the house, but not, or I think I do go over the entire bottom of the house. So we're taking that same gumdrop garland that came from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to cut it apart and then place the gumdrops in the icing on the roof. I do go ahead and place some of the gumdrops down in the front of the house as well, but I don't go in front of the door. Let me know down in the comments below if you've ever made a real gingerbread house. My dad makes a homemade gingerbread houses every year, and when I was making this little tiny one, it totally reminded me of some of the ones I've made with him, with all the gumdrops on the roof and just all the candy that I've put on there. So I really had fun with this one. But let me know down below, have you made a real one? Do you make like the graham cracker ones, or do you even like gingerbread? I love to make little gingerbread men. They are one of my favorite cookies. So after that last row of gumdrops, I decided to add a little bit more caulking for the icing. Just it looked a little plain right there, and then the little tiny gumdrops have a better chance of sticking on there with that extra part of the caulking. So here is the little gingerbread house. I did go ahead and add one of those little gingerbread men down in the corner. I think it turned out adorable. I just love how cute and tiny it is. So project number 4 is something I've seen a lot of on YouTube but never made one before, so I thought I would check it out. I got a mug at the Dollar Tree, and then we're using up the rest of the caulking. That was one reason why I decided to put it in the video, just so I could use up what was left in this caulking tube. So I put some floral foam in there, and then I'm just going to take the caulking and I'm going to go around the lip of the cup, and then I'm just going to start filling it into the center of the cup. My suggestion, I've never made one of these before, and so this is my first attempt. I think a cone-shaped inside of the cup would work much better, because as it started to dry, it deflated a little bit. I do still think it's pretty cute, but I think that would have worked better. I also didn't go out to buy any more like embellishments for this. This was just left over from what we were using already today. So I'm using the gumdrops, and I'm just sticking them into the cup in various places, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick a straw in there just for the added touch, and then at the very end I take that fine glitter again and I go over the top to make it kind of look like added sugar. I think this turned out adorable. It was really simple. It did take I let it dry overnight, so if you're going to make one of these, depending on how much of the caulking you add to the top, kind of depends on the drying time you might need. So I get asked all the time about my Snowman scissors. They were actually a gift from my mother. However, I did go on Amazon just to see if I could find a pair, and I did find a pair, so I will put the link to those scissors down in the description box. I also get asked a lot about my hot glue gun holder. That was also a gift from my husband last year for Christmas, but I have found one on Amazon as well, so I will link that the link to the glue gun holder as well down there. Christmas time's got the best of me, then it starts. So once I get ready to put the straw in, I just cut about a third of the straw off of the length of it, and then I stick it into the floral foam. My husband thought it was down a little bit, so I picked it out of there, and it gave this nice little swoosh of the like foam in there, and I think it turned out really cute after it got pulled out of there. I hope you enjoyed today's video. This video was actually done for a subscriber who asked for me to do some gingerbread DIYs, and so I hope that you found some inspiration in these gingerbread DIYs that I created for you guys today. I'm so grateful you joined me today. If you haven't hit that subscribe button but you love today's content, I hope you go down and hit that subscribe button, and remember, wherever you are in your journey is a perfect place to start, and I will see you guys in the next video.